Hello, thank you for tuning in to this Monday edition after the wonderful weekend edition of Life. This movie called Backrooms yesterday. It was like a psychological thriller, and wow, it was fucking good. If you guys are going to the movies this week or this weekend, you need to go see it. I can't help but feeling like AMC is like my favorite theater. There's a bunch of other ones in the state and in our actual town that we live in that we like too, but I don't know, I like AMC better. I feel like I don't know, when I'm in the movie theater, I feel like I'm in the movie theater. So we saw Backrooms on the weekend, and it was so good. It was absolutely insane and crazy, and I really can't put my finger on it. Like, I don't know. I was watching it, trying to figure it out as I was watching it. And I like psychological thrillers, and you guys know I love horror. So for me, I think it was great. But anyways, today is Monday, the day after Sunday, the day where it just feels like it's never going to begin and it's never going to end. I try to have a positive attitude on Monday, but it's literally the worst day of the week. If we could just skip Monday and just have that be like an automatic day off like Sunday, why can't that be a thing? Anyways, I've decided that I'm going to take my life in my own hands, and I am going to be happy. I'm not really sure what that means, but you know what it doesn't mean? It doesn't mean that I am going to be miserable. I don't want to force myself to be involved with things that are making me unhappy, and I want to live my life where I feel like I'm living. And I don't know how that sounds to people, but I'm going to try to be a better Christian, a happier person, and a happier human. I want to live unapologetically, and I don't want to make anyone feel any kind of way about anything. It's not about me, it's about you. I personally just want to be happy. I'm not saying I need $1 gazillion. I'm not saying I need a big mansion or some palatial estate. I just want to live my life, and I want to live it good, and I just want to seek happiness. That's the only thing that matters. Today is another day and another opportunity for us to look at the reflection that we see and love the reflection that we are. Clearly, there's some things that everybody needs to work on at some point in their life, but I'm going to work on taking it one day at a time. I'm going to work on living in the moment instead of thinking too far beyond where I am currently. It's definitely something I'm going to take on as a goal for myself. Today is Monday, and what are we going to watch on TV later? I don't know. Like, I feel like WWE is coming on, but I don't ever want to watch that. I watched a lot of great episodes of Columbo over the weekend. I'm obsessed with mysteries and feeling like I'm a detective. That's as far as I'm ever going to get with that. So I love to watch it. But there's a whole bunch of other shit that we got to finish, like that Widow's Bay show from Apple. We watched the end of The Boys. And when I get to that part of the conversation, I'm going to go rogue on it because, dude, I don't even know if we should have watched it. It wasn't worth watching the end of it. I'm just going to leave it there. Today is Monday. Another opportunity for us to start the day by saying, yes, we can have a great day. Yes, we can look in the mirror and love the reflection that we see. Yes, we can be the best versions of ourselves. We can decide we want to get a new car, sell the old car, keep the old car. We can decide we want to move. We can decide we want to stay in the town that we've always lived in. Today is an opportunity for us to say to ourselves, yes, we can do any of these things. Why not? You have to start saying yes, you can by finding things that you actually want to do and then doing them. Knitting and sewing and crocheting or singing or dancing or learning how to play croquet or tennis or getting involved in things that are fun. Maybe you want to learn more about hockey because you want to watch some hockey when it comes back on. Maybe you want to get into soccer or learn some of the players so you can watch Premier League. Maybe you just want to find a new show on Netflix, or you actually want to start baking in the kitchen because you want to cook differently. It could be something big or small, changing your hair color, changing your hair texture, changing your hairstyle, or it could be something huge, like starting a new relationship or meeting someone new or moving or switching your job or switching your major at school or switching the school. Whatever it is, big or small, whether you're young or old or in between that, every day is an opportunity for you to say to yourself, yes, I can. Following the idea of yes, you can is the idea of never giving up. Now, we all know life is difficult and bad things happen to good people, but we don't let that stop or prevent us from getting through to the next step of our lives. We allow to take that in and resonate with ourselves, and we persevere through difficulty because we're not alone in our difficulty, even though we think we are. So we need to recognize the doctors, the nurses, the EMTs, the firefighters, the police officers, the National Guard, the Reserve, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and the countless others that protect everyone and sacrifice others to protect others and put themselves last. And we need to walk with them and fight beside them and understand that we're in a big world full of people, and that's fine. Today is another day and another opportunity for us to get through that, to dig deep within ourselves and resonate the light that we are, so we can make the world a brighter place for us to all live in together, right? It should not be the thing we're attempting to do, to resonate the light. It should be. But outside of never giving up, thank you, John Cena. He resonated that message very well, and I hope I resonated well too, because I mean it when I say it. Let's get into the final stage of our mantra, which is why not today. Procrastination and indecisiveness don't do anything for anyone. Taking too long to make a decision is most certainly going to bite you in the ass. If you don't make a decision and make up your mind, it will come to haunt you. If you don't call people back, if you don't call people at all, if you treat them like they don't exist and they're not going to be there, they're going to be ghosts after a while. If you act like you have something and then you mistreat it, then the only outcome from that is for it to be non-existent. You know how relationships die? Because people stop caring. You know why your dream becomes a nightmare? Because it's not a dream anymore, because you stop caring about it. If something is important, it has to be treated like that. You need to organize your life. You need to get shit done. That's what the importance is with doctor's appointments and organization and scheduling things, especially if you have a family. Planning out doctor's appointment, planning out when you're going to get this or that, when you're going to make a trip to go get whatever you need to get for whatever is important. If you don't make these decisions to do these things, it's going to backfire. You can't stop time, you can't buy it, you can't control it, so you have to learn to live in it. And if you're not living in it, I'm not sure what you're doing. Putting your life on a back burner and continuing to say you're going to get to it at some point is only going to bite you in the ass. That is the idea of why not today. Do things now before you can't do them at all. Moving on from the idea of why not today is the idea of the tea of the day. The tea of the day is bad endings leave mad viewers. So I watched the end of The Boys, and I gotta tell you, it left me irritated. Not because I didn't guess what the end was going to be before we watched it, because we did, and we were 100% correct, but because they did the worst ending they could have done. Game of Thrones did it too. Why do you have to end shows and take out what probably would have actually happened and make it something different? Why does it have to end in a way where it doesn't match up? Like, let me give you an example. Bad characters, bad people do bad things, especially in storylines. Some actors or actresses just play bad characters. That's their theme. That's their role. That's what they're good at. In the case of this show, they ended it in a way where whatever they do next with it, I don't care and I'm not going to watch it. Like, they already had Gen V and they canceled that. So, like, honestly, I don't really know what they were thinking with this. But it's just like the people from Game of Thrones. They have a new show out already, and I'm not watching that either. It's just extremely frustrating. Why does these why do the people that create these things have to go about ruining it and think we're not going to catch on to it? And I'm bringing up the end of The Boys because there's a lot of things I've hated the end of, including Game of Thrones. Now, granted, that came on a very long time ago and that ended a very long time ago. But when there's an ending of a show and, like, you're expecting character development, we now live in a time where everything is basically, you can have access to everything through streaming. You have to wait for it to come out every week. And The Boys was very popular on Amazon. And I've watched a lot of things on Amazon. And I don't know. I had this, like, I don't know, like, expectation that they were going to have the show match up with the equivalency of what could potentially actually take part or happen. And that was not the case at all. This was a low blow and a bad idea. It didn't end up the way it could have ended up. And it probably could have been better if they just stuck to the theme of the show. Why does everything always have to be, like, fixed? And I like going to the movies. I love when things come out that are good. We just saw Back Rooms on Sunday yesterday, and I liked it. And last week before that, we saw Tuner, and then before that, we saw Star Trek, and before that, I can't remember what we saw, but it was something. We've been to the movies, like, every weekend for the last month or two. And I'm not saying I don't want to go to the movies. I'm not saying I don't want to watch shows on streaming. I want to do both of them. But I am saying I'm fucking aggravated because now I feel like you had an opportunity to make the show, like, really, really, really authentic and cool, and to make it end in a way that made sense to how it started. And instead of doing that, you created something that nobody that watched the show is going to want to see anything from it because of what you did in the final episode of it. I could say the same thing maybe about, like, the ending of that Netflix show, the one that everybody loved. But I still think the ending of the Netflix show was better than the ending of The Boys. I literally didn't need to see the end of it. And I'm not complaining about Amazon, although I am complaining about the writer of this show. Because, again, it leads me to think, couldn't this have been just completed correctly? We've lied to ourselves that we don't want the endings we don't. I'm a viewer. I have an expectation that you're not going to mess up on every show I like because you want to do something else outside of what it should be. Like, for instance, when I read comic books, whether it's Marvel or DC, I know the characters, I know the stories because I've read the comic books. I know all the different variations of Superman because I've read about it, right? I know all the variations of Thor because I've read it. Batman, Arkham Asylum, Harley Quinn, you name it, I've read it. I'm a comic book nerd, okay? Wonder Woman, all these characters, Captain America, all the different variations of the characters, all the side characters and the side stories, yeah. As somebody who sits there and looks at the comic books and knows the stories, I have an expectation that when I'm going to see a movie, especially something about superheroes, something that's like supernatural or some shit like that, I have an expectation that the ending is going to match up with the world that we live in. And that's not what I got. I got some superficial bullshit. And I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of these directors. I'm tired of these people doing what they think and not taking us into consideration. That happens countless times, and it's stupid. And I don't feel bad that I'm saying that. And I do think I should be irritated. And I think anyone else that's watching it will be as irritated as I was. I do think that there's nothing wrong with an expectation that things are going to match up with what you're seeing. And that's not what happened. But you know what did happen? Nothing good. We've convinced ourselves that we have to be okay with crappy endings, shitty characters, bad actors and actresses, and just bad watching things. Like, that's why I don't watch anything on TV, like on regular TV, and we have access to cable, and I don't look at it. I'm not saying that the reason I don't look at it is I don't want this PG-13 bullshit. I want vulgarity. I want reality. I want the real characters like I read them in the comic books. That's the expectation. I want the real Iron Man. I want the real Captain America. And I want the real psychotic Harley Quinn. Now, HBO has done a very great job of keeping her anime character in content with who she actually is. And it's absolutely hilarious. But there's a bunch of other things where they made Joker over and they continue to make Joker differently. Why couldn't you use the same Joker from Suicide Squad? Right? Like, I just think that the endings need to match up with the characters and the development, and all that needs to like come together with a show for it to end good. You've got these shows that have done so great, and then you get an ending and it doesn't make sense. There was this other show with Kevin Bacon where the ending was as dumb as you could have thought it was. Like, these characters, they make these decisions, and that's why they're not getting renewed and shit, because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, hello. I don't know about this show, but I could just tell you, like, when it comes to things that have like superheroes in it, Marvel, DC, anything like that, whether it's sarcastic, realistic, or non-realistic, any of these things, if you continue to fuck up the end of it and try to fixate on something that's not realistic and ruin everything, then you're not going to have a viewer anymore. And I'm your target audience. I'm a comic book nerd. I play video games. I read comic books. I could probably still whip up some cards and play Magic. I'm considering starting a new collection, since I have no idea where my Magic cards are. And I'm not even going to try to figure out where they are in the basement of my mom's house. So, like, probably in a back box somewhere. They're probably worth a lot of money. Like, probably. But I can honestly tell you, as someone that's in this genre of sci-fi meets, like, supernatural meets comic book lore, video game land, I have an expectation, and you just ruined it for me. And, like, I like things that are about vampires and werewolves and supernatural and superpowers and all this kind of shit, because it's a break away from the reality that we live in. And I actually look for shit like that because I want an escape. The idea of Inception or The Matrix, these are older movies, but they're everywhere you can find a movie. The idea of Matrix, which was made a very long time ago, the storyline and the precipice of that is still valid currently. I said it to my husband on Sunday. I said, isn't it possible that we could be plugged up to a machine and never know? I've done a segment of a podcast called Red or Blue, they're coming for you, The Matrix. Part of me really does think that we could potentially be plugged up into machines and not even think we're real. So, like, you know how I got to that point of thinking that way. I got to the point of thinking that way because that movie psychologically I think that honestly they failed. They really did fail. And not just them, but the CW, there used to be this channel that had like superhero movies and shows, and that all died off of that too. There used to be like maybe 10 years ago, maybe it was longer, I don't know. Arrow, they had all these like science fiction or like supernatural shows with like heroes and villains and stuff, and they created this entire environment for that, and then they started killing the story. They started, I don't know, seriously creating an environment that did not match up. It didn't match up with the actual story. So comic book lovers and video game lovers and DC and Marvel fans, if you have not yet watched the last episode of The Boys, then don't do it. Don't put yourself through the misery. And if you haven't started to watch the show, don't watch it at all. It's not worth it. Just skip out on it and just prepare yourself for the biggest letdown of all, because it fucking sucked, and that's it. But outside of that, I'm still going to be happy because I still love comic books. I still love Marvel. I still love DC. I'm still going to read my comic books. I'm still going to play video games. I'm not going to let that stop me from the things that I love. I'm still going to talk about magic and even think about magic. I'm still going to play Pokemon Go on my phone, and I'm still going to talk about Pokemon, and I'm still going to talk about all the old video games and play my Super Nintendo that's really nostalgic and old. And I also have the original Nintendo, not to mention it 64, and I'm still going to have fun. I'm still going to enjoy all the things that make that lore what it is. But they ruined it, and there's no coming back from what they did. Moving on to the next part of our conversation on this beautiful Monday that we're living in. Patience is a virtue, and I don't have any, but I'm trying to learn how to be patient. I guess you learn it as you go, but I'm a very impatient person. I have an expectation, like if I'm doing something, it's going to work out in that way. That's typically not the case, but I don't know. I don't know. Do I have like this invisible like expectation? Probably. You're asking why? Well, I have an expectation that things are going to work out because I'm doing it. If I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, I automatically lose interest, and I'm just like, why is this taking so long? Now, I'm patient in different environments, but if I'm at the store and I'm behind somebody, this is why I go to self-checkout and I don't like being in lines, because first of all, you got to deal with these people that have like a very short attention span in retail. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be rude. I'm saying that because I'm being realistic. You know how many times I've been in an environment where I'm in a grocery store and I got to deal with the people in the grocery store talking to each other? I'm here in the line. Ring up my shit so I can go. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be disrespectful, but I used to work in retail. I worked at Target when I was in college, and I worked there after I graduated. And for a while I could probably have worked there a lot longer, but I got out of the rat race, and I got into corporate America. So woo, or corporate world, whatever. As somebody that has worked in retail, I learned how to put the customer first, not yourself. I learned how to make the customer experience the most important experience. And I never feel like that when I'm in a store. You know what I feel like? I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. Forever 21 had a way of making you feel like that, but they're out of business. So like the places that were able to capture that essence are non-existent. So when I think of patience and I'm at the grocery store, I don't have any. If I'm at a light and you're not moving, I don't have any. Maybe I need to learn how to be patient, but I'm trying my best. And some people are impatient and some people are patient. I think patience is literally a virtue. Literally, quite literally. Back to the book club. So as you guys know, I had to create my own book club, and the book that I'm reading right now is called, let me tell you guys. The Housemaid. I've already seen the movie, and you're probably wondering, if you've already seen the movie, why would you read the book? I'm one of those people. So I've been reading that book, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty damn good. It kind of makes me want to watch the movie all over again, even though I've already seen it. And I really love the actress that played the housemaid. So for me, it's like double whammy. It's like when I read Harry Potter, and I've read Harry Potter like maybe 4 or 5 times. I'm still obsessed with those books. I have the entire collection. I like a bunch of James Patterson's books. I mean, I have real books. I have a Kindle. I have my iPhone. I have an iPad. I love reading. I like listening to the books. I like reading the books because I have unlimited. What the fuck's it called? Kindle Unlimited. I love all of it. It for me it's fun, and I'm sad I had to create my own book club because they got rid of book club, but here we go. So far so good though. I'm reading like 3 books at once. Let's see how I get with that. Moving on from the books. Hair care for curls. Be careful what you're putting in your curls. Really do some research. I found Pattern Beauty. I'm thinking I'm gonna start using that stuff. There's another line that I like as well. So I'm going to stick with Pattern Beauty and just stick for things for curly hair. I think that's the best thing you can do. Shopping online is continued to keep customers because going into the store is exactly what I talked about with the patients. I'm aggravating you, but I'm the customer. How the fuck does that work? The colors of summer are all the colors because all the colors make summer bright and beautiful. Moving on from the colors of summer, let's get to watching things. So we did see Backrooms on the weekend, and we are still watching that creepy show on Apple, which is pretty entertaining. It's Monday, so do you guys think Monday Night Raw is going to be good tonight? I don't. I'm not watching it. Pass. WWE is just low baller. Like they keep getting rid of people, but the people that they have on don't add up to make me interested. It's just this weird thing. Like very strange. Deli Boys is hilarious. If you guys haven't watched it on Hulu, you need to. Demon Hunters, that's on Netflix. Anime Binge, because I can't help it. The Pout Fish, I don't really know about that. Spider Noir is on Amazon. The Long Call. Can they make a new season of Mr. and Mr. Smith? Yo, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is one of the best shows that exists. It is on Amazon, and it is absolutely amazing. And if you have not watched it, you need to. I'm just saying. But moving on from that, let's get to eating things. No sugar is better for your body. Getting rid of carbs because carbs are sugar, and sugar is diabetes, and diabetes is death. Next, cholesterol and all the crap in our foods read the shit you're eating and be careful with what you're putting in your body. I think I'm reverting back to 2 shakes a day. I'm considering Herbalife, but I've got my Jobby in for now, and I got to figure out which shake to switch to. Can breakfast be quick? If you have quick ways to make breakfast, thristle and taking your time back from meal prepping, shackles. I don't really want to meal prep anymore. I'm not saying I can't meal prep, but I don't want to. It takes too long. I don't have enough time. I'm way too busy. And even if I do it on Sunday, then I want to make a meal prep that's not going to take a long time. And I want to make sure that I have my life. That's all I'm saying. I love easy things, but meal prepping takes a lot of time, effort, and it's not something that gets done very easily. You have to have half of a day to do this shit. I did it for a very long time, and I'm not saying you shouldn't meal prep. I'm just saying, me personally, I'd rather spend the money to have someone else just deliver it to me. I think I'm either going to go full on board with Mighty Powerful Meals or Factor. Either way, I'm just going to do one of them. I'd rather spend money and have somebody else do it than spend the money and the effort buying the shit from the store and making all of it. I honestly think it costs more money to go grocery shopping than it does for the meals themselves. It's less money for me to order it made than it is for me to make it and pay for it. Does that make any sense? Anyways, thank you for tuning in to this Monday edition of Born to be a Star. Hope you know you're a star wherever you are. And I'll see everybody same place, same time tomorrow on Tuesday. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good night, and ciao. You're the beginning, the middle, and the end, omnipresent. You are that light. I see that light in you, and I hope you see that light in me. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.